We're back then with another beginner's guide for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, and tonight we'll have a look at the awesome Doctor Doom. Now, following on from this, I will have 6 of the base heroes in the game that I've yet to cover. Once I do them, I'll then finish up the beginner's guides. That'll be 52 of them in total, but I'll finish them up by doing Thanos Infinite. I figured that would be a good one to actually finish on. But in today's video, as mentioned, it is Doctor Doom we're looking at. So we'll start off, we'll check out his overview and his stats. We'll then have a deep dive into his abilities. We'll have a look at the team bonuses that are available. We'll talk about his synergy attacks next. We'll then check out the build I'm running on him and the ISO 8 I use. We'll have a look at his alternative costumes, and one of them is possibly the hardest costume to unlock in the game. Does look pretty awesome though. And then we'll finish up with a quick summary. So we'll start off with the general overview. Doctor Doom then is the closest thing we'll get to a summon character in game. You can only call in one summon, but via that one summon that he calls in, his 3 other abilities that he has, he can self-synergize with them, so that is really fun to do, and damage wise you can really ramp the numbers up. Now when we look at the tags on his abilities, I thought he would maybe be a mixture of technology, magic, energy and so on, but it's all just energy he has. But from the perspective of building him and getting the most out of him, this does help a lot. 2 of his abilities also have the shock tag as well, which is great for getting additional damage with auto crits after someone's shocked. His hero trait is flight, which is always useful, but I will mention actually his dodge is a teleport, which is really good, and you can get through levels exceptionally quick using that, and it's really nice to use on the pesky lasers as well. You can just teleport straight through them. His stats, he doesn't do too well at all, but he's one of these characters where although his stats are low, his kit more than makes up for it. So his strength is a D, but that's not relevant when you look at the tags on his abilities. Vitality is way down at an F. His mastery is B, that's relevant to the energy stats, so that's really good. Resilience is a C, durability is an F, and then energy is an A. His light and heavy attack are basic enough, but I will say with the heavy attack that you actually teleport next to an enemy when you cast it, even if they're a short distance or a further away distance, so I really do like that it's got that utility on just a heavy attack. His extreme attack is nothing really special. It looks great, but it doesn't do any extra buffs or anything like that. But that's the general overview. Let's now have a more in-depth look at his abilities. First ability we have here is the one that all these other abilities work off. So this is Loyal Servant. So it does say summon Doom bots, but you can actually only summon one at a time. If you cast it again, then you'll simply just dismiss the Doom bot that's out and call in a new one. You can choose where you want it to go, so that is really nice. It does a small amount of damage, but you will be calling this in for the self synergies you can do. You're not calling it in for the damage it does on its own. Let's actually check out their abilities now, and we'll see those self synergies. This next ability here is your beam attack. Now don't be put off by the fact that it says damage and stagger is F, because it actually does a whole lot of damage. Now with this as well, what you'll do is you'll cast your Loyal Servant first, you'll follow up with this attack, and you can see it says if Doom bots are present they fire as well. So that gives you your synergy attack, and damage wise your numbers go up by around about 50% when you're doing the synergy attack over the beam on its own. So you wouldn't really cast this on its own, you always want to have the Doom bot out first. The next ability we have here is Spark of Genius. This one can actually create a ricochet attack because it has a synergy trait Rapid Fire. This one, because it's on a wider area, I was under the impression it maybe wouldn't do as much damage as Unmatched Might, but when I was testing it against stun bosses, it was pulling ahead just ever so slightly damage on its own. When you used it to self-synergize, it was exceptional. For example, if I was using Unmatched Might as a synergy attack, I was doing about 50% damage on a boss. When I was using Spark of Genius as a synergy attack, I was doing around about 90% damage. So this one is incredible, and if you use it in a boss by casting your Loyal Servant first, getting the synergy attack, you will absolutely melt them. This final ability here is the one that I really use the least on him. I think it's the least effective. It's more an ability for taking out low level trash that surrounds you more than anything else. When you do self-synergize with this, I like to actually place the Loyal Servant right on the area where I'm standing as well, and that way you almost get a double explosion on enemies. But by and large, rotation wise, what you'll be doing is you always drop down your loyal servant first, because as mentioned, synergy damage is way higher, and then you'll fire off unmatched might or spark of genius. But again, with spark of genius, I seem to be getting a lot more damage from self-synergizing with that, so that's the ability I'm using most often. Now, next section will be the team bonuses. Once again then, team bonus wise, the characters that came with the Shadow of Doom patch really don't do well at all here, but their kit genuinely more than makes up for the stat bonus you can get. But Doom is part of 3 different teams. It's Villains, Marvel Royalty and Big Brains. The only character that crosses over into 2 teams would be Loki, but that's quite fun to pair him up with Loki. I like to run a team with the likes of Thanos, Loki, Magneto and Doctor Doom, all the really big hitting villains. It is pretty fun to run that team. So that's the team bonuses anyway, and as mentioned, the one you're looking for is Loki, but because it's only 2 teams, don't feel hemmed in that you need to drop Loki in your team in any way. The team bonus is pretty small that he offers. Now let's have a look at the synergy attacks. Synergy attack wise, this section's a little bit irrelevant to be honest, given the fact that he self-synergizes so well, but the 4 synergy traits he's got, it's shock, beam, rapid fire and burst, and ricochet is always your useful one to go for. Top 5 characters that he synergizes well with, I'll just actually list the top one. You can see the rest on screen, they're all at 54, but you've got Drax, Miss Marvel and Star-Lord, so they have a total of 56 different synergies they can run. But honestly, once again, because he self-synergizes so well when you get the most damage out of him by dropping the Doombot down first before firing off his skills, really don't worry about synergies at all when you're building your team. Go for just characters that maybe fill out your roster a bit better. You could have like a tank character to pull the aggro from Doctor Doom because he's quite squishy, or else you could have the likes of Jean to provide him with energy so you can keep firing off all the synergies. But that's the synergy section. Let's have a look at the build I'm running. Build wise then, we have a pretty simple setup here. I go for Bow Before Doom, so with this one you increase the damage of energy ability attacks because all of his attacks have the energy tag by 19.2%, and you can also increase the crit rate of energy attacks by 11.1. Now if you are exclusively trying to use synergies all the time, there's actually ISOs you can use that specifically boost the synergy damage. That is something that could be worthwhile looking into. Until you get the 2 ISOs that I've mentioned, other ones you can use in the short term would be increased damage done to enemies by 16.5, increased mastery by 13.7 because that affects the energy tag, and finally increased crit chance by 8%. That's the build I'm running. Let's check out his 3 alternative costumes now. First alternative costume we have for him then is the God Emperor look, this one. So in order to get this, you need to simply finish the Shadow of Doom story mode, but it must be on Superior, and then you will unlock this pretty awesome looking costume. The next look we have here is an alternative costume. This one is Doom 2099. So with this one here, it's the Shadow of Doom Gauntlet. It's a level 271, which is a final gauntlet. You need to clear it once to unlock this costume. Then finally we have what is, I would say, probably the hardest costume to unlock in the game. So it's a Shadow of Doom Gauntlet once more, level 270. You can see this is a recolouring of the 2099 costume. It actually looks pretty awesome, this one. Now in order to get this, you need to get the final star on this gauntlet, which means you need to beat it round about 2.5 times, which is equivalent of round about 25 nodes or so, and it does take, try to think when I done it, I think it was around about an hour, if not more. It actually took me to do that, so just make sure you've got the time set aside if you're going to go in and fingers crossed get this unlocked. Now let's just finish up with a quick summary. Doom then is a character that I think everyone would always have quite high expectations of him, but I would say they have absolutely nailed him. He's a character that can be very self-sufficient on his own due to his self-synergies, and for me that really sums up Doom. He doesn't need help from anyone else, he just goes in and he smashes everyone up himself. You've also got the fact they've managed to fit in the summon ability to him with his Doom bot, so it's nice to see they've done that, even though it is definitely summons on the simpler side. And one thing I should actually mention, because I feel they cover these abilities really well, is when you jump up in the air and you fire off your regular attack, he fires out missiles, but the difference is these are heat-seeking missiles, and that's something that no other character in the game actually has, and that's really what Doom brings, I suppose. He's a very unique character, as he should be. But that's all the characters from the Fantastic Four DLC that are actually now finished. So as mentioned, we'll go back to the 6 base characters I've yet to cover, and then we'll finish off with Infinite Thanos. If there's any particular order you would like me to cover the base characters in, let me know in the comments below, and thanks for tuning in for this video. Take the time to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you all again soon.